and welcome to the Food Delicious podcast. In here, we talk about food and matters related to food. And thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, and today we are going to talk about food addiction and why do we crave it. To better understand this question, we'll talk with our special guest today, Miss Yalini, who is a chef in Michelin star restaurant.
Hi, I'm Yalini.
As well as Mr. Akhil, who is a culinary art lecturer in MSU College. Also, Miss Fatima, who is a representative from Culinary Student Association.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Fatima.
Okay, finally, our special guest in 2018, she has become owner of a famous restaurant. She is, drumroll please, the founder of Pertinence Restaurant, where French cuisine is adorned with Japanese technique. Were awarded their first star in 2018 Michelin Guide France. Miss Nazia on our show. Miss Nazia.
Hello everyone, my name is Miss Nazia.
Okay, we'll discuss the ins and outs of what is food addiction really is, and we will unveil the truth about it. And I'm sure it will offer listeners useful information and tips at the end, so be sure to listen all the way through for the details. Okay, so food addiction or eating addiction is a behavioral addiction that is characterized by the compulsive consumption of palatable, for example, high-fat and high-sugar food, which markedly active in reward system in humans and other animals, of course. Despite adverse and consequences, we are going to start with Mr. Akhil. Mr. Akhil, can you tell us about how food addiction or overeating becomes something that most of us face with? So as we already know that these products are designed to keep you coming back to eat more and more and more. They are trying to increase their share of your stomach, and they know you will be back because they've done the research necessary to make it happen. These companies rely on deep science and pure science to understand how we are attracted to food and how they can make their food attractive to us.
Yes, I do agree on the statement because I used read in Reader Regress magazine.
Yes, of course, Nadia. It is well-known research. Furthermore, there is also mouthfeel, maximum biting force, and the crucial ideas of sensory-specific safety, which refer to the rate in which a food product loses its attractiveness as it's eaten. It is because this corporation make a concentrated effort to make their foods not bland but extremely well blended. So when food has one overwhelming flavor, it is attractive. It will be really attractive to us initially, but then when we'll get wary of them fairly quickly. This is done to avoid people from becoming overly full and stopping eating too soon. If the taste becomes too strong, consumption will halt, and snacks must be consumed continuously until the package is empty. It's because the processed food industry three pillars are salt, sugar, and fat. While the industry despises the word addition more than any other, the fact is that the research has shown that when they hit the exact right proportion of each of those chemicals, they can avoid addiction. They will make us spend more and more money and eat more food. Not only that, if unhealthy, highly processed food are addictive, and whether this contributes to overeating and obesity, it is a topic of continuous scientific discussion. We discovered numerous points of agreement during this discussion series. including the following. The first one is addictive like eating exists. Second is mechanisms implicated in substance-related and addictive disorders contribute to overeating and obesity. And the last one is food industry processes are a key contributor to this phenomenon. We are also agree that obesity, which is a complex illness, is not the same as addictive like eating, and that further research is needed to better understand addictive like eating. There are also disagreement over the quality of evidence suggesting highly processed foods are addictive. The best framework for thinking about addictive like eating and the societal ramification of labeling unhealthy, highly processed foods and addictive. Okay, thank you, Mr. Akil. You just opened up my mind about food industry roles in these situations. Let's go to Ms. Yalini for a response. Ms. Yalini, what do you think of Mr. Akil's comment?
Yes, I agree with that. To understand how we draw food and how they might make their food more appealing to us, these terms depends on deep research and pure science. And I would like to share some tips on how to stop food addiction, because I know some of you have a food addiction, lost control of your eating habit, and spend an excessive amount of time thinking about food and overeating, or anticipating the emotional consequences of compulsive overeating. First and foremost, do not go on a diet. Weight loss should not be a priority during the first few months of regaining control of your food habit. Secondly, remove sugar and artificial sweeteners from your diet entirely, and keep in mind that this will last forever. It is possible that you will never be able to consume junk food again like a regular person. However, after you quit eating the addictive food, you will develop a taste for the craving will gradually fade away. Thirdly, make a list of what you are going to consume. Make a list of healthy food you currently like and include them in your regular diet. Make detailed weekly food plans and a plan for sticking to them. Consume food that promote good health. Food addiction may lead to a variety of health issues, as well as increased food craving. If you are experiencing signs of a food addiction, you should consider how your eating habits are supporting unhealthy habits. Next, 3 meals every day are recommended. If you miss breakfast, you will be hungry by 10 a.m. and inclined to grab a candy bar. Make sure you consume 3 meals every day and avoid snacking in between.
Man, normally I did consume 5 normal meals every day. No wonder I felt so heavy.
Wow, that is so extreme, and you should stop that habit. Furthermore, recognize the mood, location, and food that will set you off on a less path. Make a strategy for what you will do if you get a desire of if a coworker bring a box of donuts to work. You may need to alter your routine. For example, you may need to take a different route to work to avoid passing the bakery where you stop every day. Last but not least, get support. Recruit the help of friends, family, or your therapist. You will need someone to talk and to encourage you while you modify your behavior, cognitive processes, and daily routine if you want to move beyond food craving. A therapist, especially one who has knowledge with food addiction, might be a good alternative for dealing with your problems. If you think you have a food addiction, you can try this tip. It really works.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Yalini, for your response. And it is very useful information that we all can try out. And moving on to our next guest, which is Ms. Fatima. May you share what are the disadvantages of junk food in your point of view?
Thank you, Kai. You already know that junk food is food that is not good for us to practice every day, but we still practice it, right? So today I'm going to explain the disadvantage of eating junk food so that we are more aware. Firstly, it's unhealthy. Junk food is usually far harmful to our health than additionally nutrition should. Junk food is high in fat, salt, and sugar, not to mention perspective, addictive, and it is slew of other suspect components. However, if you consume it regularly, you may suffer long-term problems. You are more vulnerable to serious health problems, including diabetes, coronary health disease, and cancer. It's possible that junk food is entirely to blame for such problems. Exercise level, underlying fitness issue, and other factors are the rule. And secondly, is it contribute to weight gain. It's scary, right? And junk food contribute it too. It also has all of the sugar, that fat, and salt that I described previously. If you consume enough for it, you gain weight more quickly than if you eat healthy things. They are also new for junk food loving kids, but it also bad news for grown up. Obesity is no lagging matter, but being overweight in general is unattractive.
Yes, I agree that obesity is no laughing matter. Speaking from experience, people should really take care of their health.
Yes, Akhil, that is a wise word to live by. And lastly is it impact mental health too. Physical well-being is merely one aspect of the issue. Junk food effect of the mind as well. To begin with, there is a clear connection between physical and mental health. If your body is happy, so is your mind, and vice versa. Your body lacks the nutrient it needs, and your mind and mood suffer as a result. You are in a far rough time if you add the bad self-image that comes with it. Sugar, natural fat, and carbohydrate rise blood sugar level when you eat junk food. As a result, your mood plummet, depression, hormone, anxiety, and depression, and other implement feelings are becoming more common. And I think that's all for today. And I pass to Kai.
Thank you, Miss Fatima. And we have known that what is disadvantages of junk food. Now a question to Miss Nazia. You are known with deep understanding and knowledge of food science, nutrition, and diet, and are responsible for preparing meals that are as pleasing to the eye as they are to the palate. What is the addiction of junk food and the root of that problem?
Thank you, Mr. Kai. As we know, junk food is food that contains less crunchy values. It also has a detrimental effect on health. Find out the reason why a person becomes addiction to junk foods and how to avoid. First, late meal time. Many of us like to delay meal times. The habit of routine can lower blood sugar level. The effect will be to cause us to cook healthy food to increase. The body will then send a signal that makes a person want to consume more carbohydrate to pursue energy. At the same time, the stomach will feel hungry quickly. Therefore, we carefully when eating must be held discipline by eating at the right time to prevent this addiction problem from continuing.
Yes, I agree with that statement. We cannot consume a lot of junk food.
Yes, me too. We have to be careful when eating something and discipline by eating.
Yes, Fatimah Ayalini, what you all say is true. Second, emotional instability. A person's emotional state can also influence the desire to taste these snacks. And several weakness sometimes interfere with sleep time. When sleep time is less, can subsequently affect to decide to take snacks. The child body due to poor qualities like weaker a trigger for the body to quickly find energy source to contain high carbohydrate and sugars. Third, this persists. Stress with whatever can push a person to consume these unhealthy foods. When stress comes, try to stay away from junk foods. Do something that can take away to urge to enjoy junk foods. Lastly, eliminate anger. Some believe that taking fast food and snack can relieve anger. People like this have to control their anger. Let's go of their anger in the right way. Maybe you can take ability or ask to forgiveness a lot. So when you feel angry, avoid visiting fast food restaurants and avoid tanky snacks. I think that is all for today, and I pass to Kai.
Thank you, Miss Nazia. Sorry. Mr. Akil, Miss Yalini, and Miss Fatima, and Miss Nazia. Thank you for joining us for today and giving your input about the food addiction and why do we crave it. In today's podcast, I know I learned a lot, and I'm sure our beloved audience did too. I encourage all of you to think about this discussion the next time you go food hunting. Have a great day and thanks for staying with us. Please come back and stay with our channel again because we still have a lot of more to share about foods. Thank you very much, guys.